Family. There he goes again.
Welcome. Today we are going to discuss about the Fantasy Dream 11 regarding England and South Africa. It's a very marquee match and it is a very important match, especially for South Africa, because their victory and not but victory will suffice for them, and for that they need to win good and win handsomely. One of the reasons why South Africa needs to fire is because they have a game after Australia versus West Indies. That match will exactly tell South Africa what they need to do. First, if Australia loses, it's win and they are through to the semis. But if Australia loses, if Australia wins, then it will be up to the net run rate. And the net run rate would be very important for South Africa because Australia has 1+ and South Africa has +0.7. So they need to win and win handsomely against an England red hot side. England has won all the games and this game is going to be an absolute cracker. Now let's talk about the fantasy. Look, the game is going to be played in Sharjah. It was said that this would be a very low scoring ground, but it has been the opposite. The shorter boundaries, the bounce has been very low, I agree to that, but the number of sixes per match has been the highest as compared to Dubai and Abu Dhabi. So some of the fantasy players which I would suggest is you need to have Josh Butler. Butler is on fire. He has a 71, he has a century to his name. Both the games he was not out. Then you need to have Jason Roy. And with that, some of the England bowlers are doing fantastically well. You need to have Adil Rashid. You may need to have Moeen Ali. You need to have Livingston. Livingston hasn't batted. He made a name for himself as a batsman, but as a bowler he is doing extremely well and he has taken 3 catches, so he has fantasy points all over him. Then as far as South Africa is concerned, I would suggest Temba Bavuma. You need to have Temba Bavuma. He is doing well against England in the past. He has a couple of 30s in this World Cup. Quinton de Kock is always scoring runs. You need to look into him as well. And with him there is a certain player called Nokia. He has been the standout bowler for me in this World Cup. He has taken wickets at 8 an average and he has the highest wickets in terms of average in the Super 12. So you need to have Nokia. Rabada has shown in the last game what he's capable of doing, and with that Tabraiz Shamsi. Not long ago he was the #1 ranked T20 bowler in the world. He's second, he's wrist spinner, he's a mystery spinner. He can create problems for this mighty England batting lineup. Now let's speak about England versus West Indies and the players to look out for in your Dream 11. You cannot look further than Warner and Finch. Finch has been doing well. He is firing all cylinders. Warner has a good innings against Sri Lanka, but whether he's in form or not, we cannot say because Kushal Perera dropped a dolly. But Australian bowlers are doing extremely well. Stark, he's on fire. Hazlewood's test length bowling is doing wonders. And Zampa, he is fresh from his 5-wicket haul. But to tackle them is the universe boss, Chris Gale. He has not been firing, but his last 50 has been against Australia. And his strike rate against Maxwell is 233 and 250 against Zampa. So he can take on Australia's premier bowlers. So you cannot just rule out the universe boss. With him, I would suggest Hetmyer and Pooran. Why am I going with Hetmyer? One of the reasons is he is fresh from his 81 not out. Secondly, in Abu Dhabi, the new ball jags around, but later on batting becomes very easy. It's a day game, but still the older ball would suffice for Hetmyer. Pooran, for the last couple of games, he has been something else. He has found some form and he goes big. He scores at a brisk rate, which can fetch you points, and don't be surprised if he gets a 50 odd runs. So these are some of the fantasy players which I suggest for both the games. Best of luck to you and score points as much as possible and win some ICC merchandise.